Hello everyone, today we are going to be visiting the world of Cities Skylines. Now, Cities Skylines is one of those games wherein it captures a realistic world perspective into a virtual game scenario. So let's dive into the game and see how close it is to our real world engineering. So we'll try a new game here first and see what maps we have here. We can notice that most of the maps that we have here right now is in a greenery. It is in a place where it's filled with nature, vegetation, trees, even bodies of water. So let's scroll down and we can see that we have to buy this map to access it. Most of the maps here are requiring for us to buy. So let's try a free map. So what do we have here? Okay, let's try sandy beaches. Sandy beach, we'll try that. Now we are inside the game and we can see that it gives us our own area to work with. It would be nice to have an idea of how large we're working with, to get some distance and to get the area of this land. So we can see that we are connecting from a highway, and the highway has some ins and outs. And I'm quite noticing a few things here at the moment. From the highway, you are going from a three-lane carriageway. It's three lanes, and then there's an exit here on this side. Now, it's interesting to see this design at the moment. It's a preset design, by the way, so this came from the in-game. And what I would modify here is to make the approach of the turn to be a little bit more smoother. If the highway comes here and then it turns this way, smoothen it out so that it doesn't turn a bit too abrupt going into the curve. Here we have the landing area as well from the opposite highway. So the opposite highway, we will still implement the same. Rather than an abrupt turn from the highway, we would implement a little bit more of an opening on this side, and that is called the taper. So from this axis, okay, gradual turn, that is fine. And from here, it would be advisable to have this receiving area or the landing area to have its own individual lane first, a single lane going straight further, and then joining into the highway. The lanes are, if you could just zoom, so we are restricted from this boundary line to zoom into that. So, okay, we'll work with what we have at the moment. This lane is a single lane, and this lane is another single lane. Okay, if I could only just zoom for you in this portion, there is not a defined separation line in between, which could be a risk of a collision because the vehicles would come this way and another vehicle would come this way. Since there is no line separation here, it could cause them to merge in the same lane with each other, which could cause a potential collision. Now, further here, downwards, we are back to a three-lane carriageway. So this bit of area needs a little bit of work. This could be extended further, and then this lane could be extended further. It could follow two lanes or three lanes, and then further continue into this way. Okay, so now let's try to zoom in with what we have at the moment. Now let's work with what we have inside our boundary lines. So each road has their own names, and you can click on this icon and let's see what we have here at the moment. Small roads, medium roads, large roads, highways, intersections, and road tolls. We are coming from the highway, and that is not considered a small road. I would put it as a large road, but large road has blank options at the moment. Not quite too sure why we have blank options at the moment for large road, medium road. Let's check on the small road. Small road, we do have one option here. Okay, it's It mentions here that it's a two lanes with parking spaces and supports low traffic. Now, it is not ideal to put a small road directly coming from the highway because in such a way we have to decrease first the speed of the flow of traffic, which means that there would have to be some sort of traffic lights to mitigate that, or exits first to divert the flow of traffic into the inner city. And at the moment, the option that we have is just the two-lane road. So let's try that for demonstration purposes. So let's build the road on this side. Now what I have noticed is when we put the road here, it automatically created this pedestrian walkway. Let's try to see if we can edit this pedestrian walkway. Can't find a feature at the moment to do that. Now, if we notice, the highway is coming to a stop here, and then after that, there's a taper of the road, which is not ideal and not a realistic scenario for us to do because the flow of traffic will be very fast. Fast moving vehicles directly into a pedestrian walkway is not a very safe feature. So ideally, we would have to reduce the lanes first and then add some traffic lines and put some signage about what would be the speed for the vehicles. So usually vehicles on a highway will range between 100 kilometers per hour up to 140 kilometers per hour, and some are even higher than that. So if we just imagine 100 kilometers per hour coming down here and then straight into a pedestrian walkway, that doesn't sound like a good news. Okay, we do actually have a road speed limit placed here. I wonder if you can see it in zoom. So it mentions 40 kilometers per hour. So coming from the highway and going down into 40 kilometers per hour, not the most ideal thing. And yes, we could work on that if we have more features or access at the moment to play with. So let's keep going. Another thing that we could notice is the street lights. So street lights are coming from this way, and then as we go down the road, the street lights are installed on the opposite side, which means that the connection of the electrical units will pass by here, and then in between will connect to the opposite side, and then continue flowing to the other side. It would also be advisable to have the center carriageway to have its own lights, so that this side will illuminate this part of the road, and then the center light will illuminate the other half of the roads. So in that way, it provides more illumination during driving at night. So at the moment, we only have this much roads to work with. So we have the small roads, the two-lane roads. We have the two-lane road with sidewalks, and then we have a two-lane road with median. Let's just connect the road with what we have built at the moment. Let's try to occupy the land that we are working with here and connecting back into the highway. So let's do that. So let's make the roads with gradual curves. Okay. So let's build some roads near to these trees and rocks so we can give the view to the people who wants to enjoy the scenery of this area that we are working with. We'll just continue forward. So let's give this place a nice drive beside the sea. We'll work our way here, then going this way, going that way, here, here. So now we have built a road that takes the tourists around the area, and we give them a little bit of access to the seaside, and then turn back, going through the trees and coming back into the highway. Just in case one of our motorists took the wrong turn of exit and went into this land and they initially don't have any intentions to be driving around here. So let's give them an easier access around this bit so that they can come back with a U-turn. So let's try to do that. Okay, so here we have provided an access for the motorists to turn back just in case they did not really actually intend to drive all around this area or even this location. So they can just turn back here and then go back into the highway and continue their journey. If we have more features to access this at the moment, we would be putting signal lights here. We would be putting signages to go straight and go back to this lane. Ideally, this arrow should be removed and it should be a no entry here. And what we could do here is put a left turn signal that is available for motorists to access left turn, and on the opposite side there would be a no left turn here. So people driving on this way would just be continuing straight and with a signal light here to maintain the flow of traffic. Okay, there's something that I noticed here. This arrow should be removed because this is going to this direction. Okay, so now I noticed something else. So notice that our arrows here, the full 3 lanes, are going to this direction. And now when we go into this direction, we are greeted with an opposite traffic on this side. I would keep this flowing, the flow of traffic to continue straight so that this road will not be congested waiting for 2 lanes and going straight into a 1 lane. So if there was an option here to remove this arrow, I would continue this lane all throughout the full area and come back as one-way traffic, not a 2 lane traffic. So I'm trying to see if we can build more features such as buildings, infrastructures, residential areas. Okay, we have low density residential zone. So let's try to place some of that here. Okay, let's try somewhere here. Okay. So now we have placed the residential zones along this area. I'm just trying to find a feature which gives us the actual buildings to build on top of these zones. I am not able to find the option to put buildings or residential houses on this area. If in case you guys know how to do this, just let me know in the comment section down below how we can access the building so that we can start putting buildings along this area. So this is what we have at the moment, and let's try to do a scenic view of the drive around if in case we're coming from the highway and then we're driving along this area. So this is what we are greeted with. So we're going this way, yep, and then we continue this way into a scenic route with trees, massive boulders, opposite side vegetation. We continue this way, looks nice. The roads are flowing smoothly with its elevations up and down. The turns are not very sharp. Another feature that I would implement if we have the option here is to put barriers on the curves so that it provides a safety feature for people driving at night that may not see that much of visibility. So chevrons would be ideal. Chevrons are the illuminative lights where it gives the arrow direction of where you have to turn your steering wheels. Looking great here. And now we arrive here and we would put a signal light here if we had the option, and traffic would be flowing here for people who are coming from the left, and we can continue further on going back into the main highway. I hope you guys enjoyed this visit that we have done for City Skylines. If you have any more suggestions or recommendations of what you would like me to cover next, just let me know in the comment section down below and I will do my best to do those videos. Thanks for watching and I will see you on the next one.